Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It's a Monday, and it's a fun day Monday. We got all kinds of action. 2 NFL games tonight. Hoops all over the place. We got the Tigers playing a little football against West Virginia on Tuesday. Busy, busy week. Talk about Zach Edey and his return to the Grizzlies. We'll talk about that amazing. Saturday was buck wild. The country star Colby Rogers was making it rain. Tyrese Hunter. If he wasn't 100%, Lord have mercy, and not need Sideshow Bob did just enough. Tigers took care of business as they hit 12 for 25 threes. And the country star Colby Rogers, a few big ones, was 4 for 7 from downtown. Tyrese Hunter, 7 for 11. Man, what a game. Musa Cisse, Dane Danger, fighting down low. Musa still gets me a little bit crazy with the fouls because he gets a little handsy. But, man, what a hell of an effort by the Tigers, who I expect to be in the top 25 today. Speaking of the top 25, have y'all seen the SEC lately? I know it just means more. Tony V off a fresh little College World Series action up in Tennessee. SEC. But, man, we talk football. We got the college football playoff coming up. We'll be talking, of course, Tennessee, Ohio State. But SEC basketball is absolutely in fuego. If you paid attention, they have right now 3 teams in the top 5, 5 teams in the top 9, and 9 in the top 25. And, damn it, Saturday was just downright impressive. You had Tennessee holding on, dropping Illinois. You had number 2 Auburn destroying Ohio State like Tennessee's going to do this week. It was a good week for the SEC, and SEC hoops. They're rolling. Tiger hoops rolling. We got Terry Davis at 11:30. We're going to talk with TD. Obviously, we're going to talk with him about the Tiger basketball game. Talk about them Grizzlies, what's up with Zach, and we'll get deep in what are the Tigers going to do against West Virginia. We also, speaking of college, we got to talk about Mike Norvell. Did you see this today, Brian Dacus, that he's giving $4.5 million of his salary back to the revenue sharing?
I did.
I thought Brian Kelly giving up $1 million was wow, man, this is a new era. It's this is different. It's kind of also when you have a bad year, it looks like you're expected, if you're a coach, to start putting that money that you're getting paid by the university back into the program that somehow you let sink. So we are in a new era. We're going to talk college football, with Jake Crane from Crane & Company. Right now, the cool thing about Crane & Company, they have previewed every single college football playoff game. The teams, they go through it. And the best part about it is, for me, is you just talk to your microphone, or at least your remote control. Everybody talks to the remote control right now. Nobody actually has to push the buttons anymore.
For the most part, yeah.
You just say Crane & Company. Sometimes, though, it'll go to Grain & Company, or it'll spell Crane, Crane. And I'm no, Crain, Crane & Company, and bam. It's all right there. Every single preview. You got Blaine, you got Jake, you got David Cohn breaking down all the games. So you can just go to YouTube, check out their breakdown. We're going to break down some games here in a little bit. Speaking also, though, of football, the NFL, we got 2 games tonight, man. 2 games. 2 very, It's a good thing there's 2. Because I could expect one of them or both of them to be pretty bad. You got the Bears and the Vikings. Minnesota, 7-point favorite, total 43.5. We always give you the bets at the end of the show. And then you have at 7:30, 7 o'clock is the Bears-Vikings. 7:30, Falcons and the Raiders. Falcons a 6-point favorite over the Raiders. We'll break down all the crazy stuff we saw. Did Josh Allen win the MVP? Do you write it in Sharpie? Dude's tearing it up. What he's done lately is ridiculous. And by the way, also, the Lions, how much trouble are the Lions in? You talk about 2 more defensive starters, serious starters. They need defensive line, they need defensive backs. that 11 straight wins went down the tube because their defense is absolutely just falling apart. Don't forget, we had a Heisman as well. So we are stocked, locked, and ready to rock. And we got Jake Crane from Crane & Company. And again, if you ain't watching Crane & Company, I don't know if you really like sports. And if you want to get a preview of any game, we're going to preview some of the games with Jake. But they're all right there. You just go talk to your microphone and say, YouTube, Crane & Company. Bam, previews pop up. You can watch all the action. It is fabulous. Jake, how you doing on this Monday?
Man, I am excited. Obviously we got the college football playoff coming up. The SEC, what they're doing in college basketball is like nothing I've ever seen them do before. And we got some bowl games this week too, man. So we get a little bit of everything to double up on Monday Night Football in the NFL. But, man, I'm excited. It's a great time.
It is a great time. First and foremost, since we're going to look in a little past before we look forward, Travis Hunter follows Deion Sanders, number 1 overall, kid out of high school, goes to an HBCU. We might never see that again. Follows him to Colorado, and then ends it with a hell of a football season and a Heisman Trophy. What'd you think about the ceremony? What do you think about Travis Hunter? And what do you think about his girlfriend kind of getting upset with him about taking pictures with the fans?
Yeah, this is the second or third time she's become a problem. I think maybe somebody needs to tell her it's not about you. But look, Travis, do what you want. I'm no expert in, soothsaying in the female species, but I just learned to say you're right. That goes a long way in marriage. So now, look, he picked the perfect year for him to have a chance to win it, right? I even though a quarterback didn't win it this year, I still think it's a quarterback award. There was just no quarterback that took it. If Dylan Gabriel would have kept putting up the numbers he was throughout most of the season, I think he would have won it. But Travis Hunter, again, you look at what he brings. Anybody that says he's just okay at 2 positions, it's not true. And stats can be so deceiving for a corner or a DB because they're not throwing at me. It's like when you're a good enough corner, it's kind of like being the long snapper. You don't hear about him unless something bad happens. So I'm not as much into the, statistical, well, he didn't win the Thorpe Award. They're not throwing at him. As far as being a wide receiver, that's what I think he is at the next level. I think he's a wide receiver. I think he was one of the best in the country. I can understand people that thought Nick Nash should have won the Biletnikoff when you look at the numbers.
Every number,
but I was fine.
one.
I was fine with Travis winning the Heisman. I think he deserved it.
I like it. So you say that you think at the next level, though, he's going to be more of a wide receiver. Do you think there's anybody out there who wants to try to use him both ways?
I mean, maybe. Again, the NFL is just such a different league. Not that, guys haven't played both ways before in certain situations. Heck, I watched the Patriots throw a pass to a cornerback this weekend, so it's not unheard of. But they want you to specialize mainly. And I think he has a higher ceiling at wide receiver, especially with the way the rules are now in the NFL with the illegal contact down the field, things like that. Not that he wouldn't be a good DB, but from a physicality tackling standpoint, I would put him at wide receiver.
I dig it. Now, before we start getting in and breaking down all these games, again, you can right now go to Crane & Company and watch them. They got all the previews up. They're awesome. I've watched them all. Y'all got a quarterback down in Auburn. Y'all got Jackson Arnold. My question is, though, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, who's this year's? Is it Jackson Arnold, Malik Murphy, Connor Wegman, or is it somebody else?
Well, I mean, every year is different. This is what I've been trying to tell people. You can only get from the transfer portal what the market bears. I mean, just like the NFL draft, position groups fluctuate. Some years the quarterback class is better. Some years the D-line class is better. That's what it seems like in the portal. There probably isn't going to be a Cam Ward level quarterback, so you got to go get the next best thing or the best player available at that position. Now, John Mateer just got in the portal, the Washington State quarterback, who I think is the best one that's going to be in the portal. Will he follow his OC to Oklahoma? Seems like the most likely destination. But if you're Auburn, it's not whether Auburn will be okay. Auburn's still going to be here regardless, but it's Hugh Freeze and the circumstance you find yourself in. Auburn's got to get out of the high ceiling business right now and get into the high floor business. And with Jackson Arnold, he's not a proven commodity. He's got a lot of potential, but he hasn't reached it. He didn't leave Oklahoma because it was going so good. I mean, he got benched after 4 starts. So Hugh Freeze, at least I think, is in a position where he has to win on the field this year. That doesn't mean he has to go undefeated, but you took a mediocre quarterback from Michigan State that wound up being mediocre. So if you take a guy that had a mediocre start at Oklahoma and he ends up being mediocre, you're going to be fired. So it's a humongous risk. Not that there is some unbelievable proven commodity in the portal, but in Auburn's circumstance and the context in which Hugh Freeze is entering his third year, man, it better pay off. You can't miss twice at this position.
No, you cannot. Now, speaking of that position, how wild is it? Like Penn State's getting ready for, the college football playoff. Drew's their quarterback. All of a sudden, though, Bo, he's entering the transfer portal. It's like it's still kind of crazy for me to think about a kid who's the backup quarterback one play away from being the guy in a big game like that to go ahead and actually, put his name in and say, I'm bouncing.
Yeah, well, Drew Aller, at least I believe, according to Pete Thamel, said that he's going to come back for next year.
Yeah.
So here's the problem is the calendar, right? Because, again, you only have a certain amount of time to enter your name into the transfer portal right now. So if you don't, you got to wait until like April, and that's going to be too late for some teams. Some teams will already be done with spring practice. So, we had Rhett Lashley on last week, and the first, thing we talked about was how screwed up the calendar is. So, I guess you could say, hey, I'm entering the transfer portal, but I still want to stay here and play through the college football playoff. But some coaches don't want that if you're going to be their guy. So you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
It is. It's a new world. And then last but not least, did you ever see a day where coaches, Brian Kelly, I was like, damn, he gave back $1 million of his own salary, to match for NIL and revenue sharing. And then I found out Mike Norvell's given 4.5. What a terrible season for Mike Norvell. But it's a new time. If you have a bad year as a coach, I guess you're going to be paying some players.
Yeah. I'm not going to call it a bribe because that's
feels like
not technically. Not technically what it is, but it's like the worse you did, the more money you got to pay up. Don't forget, 4 years ago, Michigan went into Jim Harbaugh and asked for some of their money back because he wasn't beating Ohio State.
Ooh, yeah.
We watched something similar happen with Mike Gundy in Oklahoma State here recently. So if you're going to ask for more money, you might as well funnel it into the player pot to go get guys from the transfer portal. It's just like Mike Norvell's like, look, listen, just don't exile me yet. Here, take half my salary, put it toward this next year, and let's go get some players from the portal. I get it. Like, it's the best use. If you're going to give money back, that's the best place to do it.
That is, it's just such a new era, man. And we got the college football playoff. I'm so fired up. Friday night, we're going to get things started. Indiana on the road at Notre Dame. Touchdown Jesus, 7.5-point favorite. You got Curtis Rourke, two totally different teams. A lot of people that think about, and then I started thinking to myself, when I looked at this Indiana team, man, they're defensively, they're a lot better than I thought. But a couple plays against Ohio State and special teams, a stupid punt situation, a punt return for a touchdown. All of a sudden, Ohio State's winning that game. Do you think Indiana has a shot to upset touchdown Jesus?
Oh, yeah, I think they have a shot. The problem is, and we're actually going to live stream the game Friday night from a cigar bar. So if you want to turn the volume down, we're going to be breaking it down, formation, what's going on, what to expect, what's literally happening in real time. Those typically, we have a lot of fun doing them, so check us out on the YouTube channel Friday night. But Indiana is the true definition of a routine team that has to stay on schedule. Because when they get off schedule, that's when it turns into a disaster like it did against Ohio State. They're not built to be off schedule. They're very balanced in the run to pass. With Rourke, he's not great at creating with his feet, but he's very on time as a passer. He knows where to go with the ball. He's not afraid to hit the check down all the way down the field. So if they can stay on schedule against Notre Dame and stay in those 3rd and 3s and 3rd and 4s and 3rd and 2s where they can kind of camouflage their offensive line and defensive linemen can't pin their ears back because they know it's a passing down, Indiana can move the ball. They did it against Ohio State. They just dropped the snap on a punt and then gave up a punt return for a touchdown in like an 8-minute span. Then all of a sudden they had to change their stripes to try and come back, and that's not who they are. They beat you with balance and versatility. They don't beat you by overwhelming you with talent or that they're elite at one thing. Defensively, they've been really good against the run, which is going to put Notre Dame in a predicament because Riley Leonard, I think, is going to have to throw the ball consistently for them to move the ball. Not that he can't, but they really haven't had to rely on that too much. So I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I wouldn't be shocked if it was very low scoring, almost a boring style of play. And I don't use that word like it's not going to be fun to watch, but I don't think you're going to see a ton of explosive plays up and down the field. So it's going to be a great game to kick us off, a nice little appetizer before we get to the entrees on Saturday.
Man, I love it. I just now circled under 51.5 because I kind of believe exactly what you believe now. You talked with Rhett Lashley last week. Great interview. But Penn State's one of those teams. When I look at them, I don't know why I don't trust James Franklin. He doesn't beat teams that are, very, very good. I'm not saying SMU is great, but I know one thing. My man, if you haven't seen Kevin Jennings, you're about to see a baller. He's definitely the best quarterback on the field. Can Rhett Lashley, SMU, can they get the upset? Because I sure do like him with the points.
I think they can, but they're going to need some help. I don't think they can just go in there and if they play well and Penn State plays well, they're going to win. You're going on the road in an environment that you hadn't really been in all year. We kind of saw the way that affected Indiana. You're right about Kevin Jennings, the quarterback for SMU. 100% witch, and he's not turning the ball over when he improvises. That I think has been what's really taken them to the next level offensively. He's making good decisions not only throughout his reads, but when the play breaks down as well. What you brought up about Penn State, if you're a Penn State fan, you couldn't feel better about this week because it's not against Ohio State or Michigan. That's been their problem. It's like Ryan Day outside of Michigan. They can beat everybody else, but whenever they see those two, they turn in, they go schizophrenic. They're bipolar. The problem with Penn State is in these big games, they haven't been able to play complementary football. Either the offense is playing really well, but the defense is terrible, or the offense is terrible and the defense is playing really well. They've got to be able to put it together, but I think they can get away with it against SMU. If you look, Penn State got the best draw out of any team that doesn't have a bye. I mean, you get no disrespect to SMU or Boise, but you could sign me up for that side of the bracket and that path any day of the week. So typically in these games, between these type of teams, it's the line of scrimmage where the biggest advantage goes to a team like Penn State. Can SMU hold up in pass pro, and can they get to Drew Aller without having to manufacture too much pressure and lose guys from the back end? Because Andy Kotelnicki, the new offensive coordinator from Penn State that came over from Kansas, he is not afraid. I call him Mr. Pfizer because he's not afraid to throw a shot out there quickly.
Texas, I feel like Sark and them boys are about to run roughshod over Clemson. We've seen them, the lack of success Clemson's had against the SEC. Texas had a great year, but they haven't beaten anybody in the top 25, 11.5-point favorite. Does Texas roll them?
I think there's a reason this spread is the biggest. With Clemson, and look, you can say the same thing about Texas and the two games they played against elite opponent being Georgia. It's the consistency for Clemson. That's why they barely were able to sneak into the playoff. And they didn't get it, hands down, because they've lacked consistency throughout the year. Texas probably has the best defense in the country, at least the best front seven to me in totality. And Clemson has really made their living, including against South Carolina, a game they lost, on Cade Klubnik's running ability and their ability to be able to run from the quarterback and running back position. They've had some of the young guys on the outside, Wesco. Those guys kind of step up and make plays. Briningstool's a good piece at tight end. But if Cade Klubnik in this run game is shut down, Texas is going to eat you alive. And I think Clemson has the athletes on defense to stop Quinn Ewers in Texas for a while, but eventually that dam will break. I think Texas wins. I don't know what the spread is right now. It was 11 the last time I saw it. Do they cover? That's a tough ask. But I think Clemson's going to have a lot of trouble moving the ball.
I'm right there with you now. I think Ohio State. I took it last week. I got a 7.5. Tennessee. I love the points. I'm not a big Will Howard dude. He can do things with his legs. Sometimes he hits some wide receivers in stride, but he also makes some big mistakes. And it's like, hell, I think they would have been better off with Kyle McCord. But it is Will Howard. They got NFL wide receivers all over there. Tennessee, though, their defense is absolutely salty, and Dylan Sampson can run the damn hell out. Like, he can run the rock. Ryan Day 0-4 against the SEC. This is when I feel like could be the best game. But I got to lean for Tennessee, and I love the 7.5.
Yeah, getting them with the hook over the touchdown is obviously big.
Huge.
I led off one of our shows last week talking about how I think the archetype of this Tennessee team, when compared to the Hendon Hooker teams and kind of who they've been in the past, track meet style, just, outscore you on offense, hope to stop you a couple times on defense. This team is built differently, and I think it really behooves them in a matchup like this. The question, I think, is twofold for Ohio State. One, how do you bounce back from the disappointment of another loss to Michigan in a game that you should have won? You had the better team. Can you bounce back from that? And then, two, offensively, is Chip Kelly going to call the game emotionally, or is he going to call what's best for them from a personnel standpoint? They tried to line up and bully Michigan, which is the one way Michigan could have stopped you, right? Ohio State's advantage, especially with the injuries on the offensive line, it's at wide receiver. You can supplement the run game with a short, quick passing game to help open up that run game because you got two really good backs. But it's like they were trying to prove an emotional point against Michigan. And if you do that against Tennessee, they're going to shove you in a locker and point at you and laugh while all the pretty girls in the high school point and laugh too. If they try and do that, it is going to keep Tennessee in this game long enough where the Vols could possibly build up a lead. And depending on if Nico's hot early, it could spell trouble for Ohio State. But I just highly doubt Chip Kelly makes that mistake again. I think this will be the best matchup. I like Tennessee at plus 7.5. I think it's a true pick 'em. Being at home is going to help. But if you know Tennessee, they travel like the Mongolians, man.
Bro, I mean, I'm telling you, I'm talking with Tennessee fans left and right. We're trying to get a plane, trying to get up there, having a lot of fun because that's a damn long drive, 8.5 hours. But the Vols, they will travel. And I think it was their athletic director who was like, don't sell your tickets to Vols fans. Sorry, that's too late.
Yeah, man, look, they already cracked the code. Somebody went Owen Wilson and found out, like, the code for tickets for Ohio State fans. Which, look, all's fair in love and war. Don't be mad that our intelligence, apparatus is better than y'all's. I mean, we know what Connor Stallions did to y'all.
That is great. Tell us, what do you got coming down the pipe this week?
Man, we got a huge show today. Obviously talking about the playoff. We're breaking down which impact players you need to be looking at and what's going to decide some of these games. We got Tim Brando coming on. We got some big-time coaches coming on this week. If you love college football, if you love college basketball as well, come hang out with us over at Crane & Company.
Man, Jake, be blessed. Enjoy the week, man, and we'll do it again next Monday.
All right. We'll have some results then. It ought to be interesting.
Man, it will be interesting. Jake Crane & Company, check him out. Timmy B is going to be on there. He's always fascinating. He's the one who kind of made me understand a little bit more about, damn it, this is a TV show. Like, quit freaking out and trying to, like, they're not going to give you, like, their metrics. And I'm talking about the College Football Playoff Committee. It is TV drama. It is a TV show. But we got hella games, man. We hadn't even talked about really the Tigers yet or the Grizzlies. Oh, my. Terry Davis next. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
When you're working outdoors, unpredictability is the norm. So take on the toughest jobs with the 2025 Honda Pioneer 7. This running side-by-side horsepower engine already with a reliable tool for towing and smooth shifting through trails. And you can choose between 3 trails, standard, deluxe, or the Trim Timber First Edition. Ultimate Animals Adventures. See the 2025 Honda Pioneer 700 today at Casino Honda, 5637 Road in Ranch. Full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Bentwinger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Bentwinger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit BentwingerGlass.com. Bentwinger Glass. friends. Want to make this the most unforgettable Christmas that Genesis time is
from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. We'll have great matchups all season long on the road to the playoffs and Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Join Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner and me for one of the NFL's great traditions, Monday Night Football on Westwood One.
Right here on Sports 56.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food, no matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings. Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
All the wisdom of the universe is in these powers.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a beautiful Monday, especially after you had a little nice little Grizzlies action against the Nets Friday. Tigers took care of business on Saturday. Country star Colby Rogers, Tyrese Hunter, and knock-kneed Sideshow Bob doing their business. Danger! Watch yourself. Oh, no, that's now stuck in my head. And Moses Cisse, hella play from the Tigers. We're going to talk with Terry Davis about that. But I got to remind you, there's 2 NFL games tonight. 2 of them. Now, they're not they ain't marquee matchups. You got the Bears and the Vikings. You got the Falcons and the Raiders. But you know what? You can bet on them. Do you want to watch both games at a bar that's awesome, fun, exciting, friendly, comfortable? Well, that's the Owner's Box. Yes, sir, Bob in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill has 24 beers on tap. All your favorite beers in cans. They got all kind of local craft beers, wall-to-wall bar full of Tito's and everything else in between. I'm telling you right now, if you want to enjoy a dope sports bar, it's the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Let's talk with our good buddy Terry Davis, who found himself sitting right there in the middle of a little fracas on Friday night. What up, TD?
What up, my brother?
Man, how's everything going?
Hey, life is great, man.
Gucci, baby. So how was your Friday night, man? At the end of the game, they got a little bit mouthy. What was going on down there? I saw you right in the middle of it.
Just boys being boys, man. You know, that's one thing I like about the NBA. Everybody being nicey. It makes it kind of boring. Well, you got a little animosity. It makes it a little bit more fun.
I'm with you, man. I don't.
And we get him back again Thursday.
Oh, we get who back again?
The point guard from the Brooklyn Nets that got traded to Golden State.
What? You got me off. I don't know if you know it's Monday. I'm hungover like you wouldn't believe.
Rondo, he's going. He got traded to Golden State, and he comes back here Thursday.
Oh, man. See, I didn't even know, man. I've been like all up in some business with some football and Tigers win. I've been crazy. But before we jump on the Tigers, because I really want to talk about them, we had, the Grizzlies, lost in L.A., but Zach Edey came back, played with the second team. A little double action, 10 rebounds, 13 points. What do you think about the big man being back?
He looked really good. It's just too bad their offense broke last night, and they still had a chance to win at the end. It just shows you this team.
Man, that first quarter was terrible.
They couldn't hit the side of a barn standing outside the door. They were horrible. They were getting one possessions, one shot, nothing was going down, and then at the end they made that run and almost still pulled it off at the end.
And they did. They had a hell of a run in the third quarter. Right now, though, Grizzlies 18-9 on the season, looking pretty good right now, heading into Christmas week, New Year's around the corner. Tell me how you feeling about the team, man? Just give me your overall view. Like 8-2 in the last 10.
I'm very, very happy to where they are because one, you're getting everybody back. Edey's back. Edey has shown that once he get his feet wet, he's going to be a double machine, and he's going to do what he needs to do. But him and Jalen Wells, once they start getting calls and the refs start letting them play, this team going to be even more dynamic.
That second team, do you think he stays coming in with that second unit with Marcus Smart and them boys? Is that something that we're going to see Edey doing throughout the season?
Until he learn how to play and defend without fouling, that's what's going to happen because one thing about it, he has to get acclimated like Jalen Wells did, so you can learn how to play defense and not get those fouls called on you. Because his biggest problem is Jenkins don't want him to get in there and get 2 early fouls and have to sit him down the rest of the half.
What do you think about Tripp's year, man? Is this what we were waiting for?
This is a first team, second team, All NBA, All Star. Oh, we had a discussion in the locker room. Of the 2 players that should go to the All Star game, who you think is going? You think it's either going to be Jaren on merit or Ja on merit?
Jaren.
You can only pick one.
I'm almost leaning Jaren right now, just the way he's been playing this season.
But Ja is the most popular.
Well, yeah, he's the most popular, but you asked me on merit, did you not?
Yeah, on merit. And merit does include fan vote.
Well, then it's going to be
Who's
Ja.
most likely to be in San Francisco, Jaren or Ja?
It's going to be Ja then, because he's much more popular.
Yeah, and that's what I said because I said he's much more popular and the league really loves him and his impressions are just out the roof worldwide. In the NBA, look at stuff like that.
That is 100%. They do. Grizzlies taking care of business, second in the West right now, 18-9. They play the Warriors. When do they play the Warriors?
Thursday.
They're at the crib, aren't they?
At the crib.
Got
3 days off too. Got some nice little mini break time again.
Man, I love that. Now, I almost came unglued Saturday morning. I love the early tip, man. Started my day off right. The game was crazy. I mean, Tigers came out.
That was a great game.
They couldn't miss. Clemson couldn't put it in the hole. Down the stretch, they find themselves down by 6. They keep fighting. Country star Colby Rogers, cold-blooded from that corner, burying threes. You had danger. Watch yourself. Big buckets down the stretch. Tyrese Hunter was out of control, and Knock-Kneed Sideshow Bob just did enough. Memphis 87, Clemson 82 in overtime. Talk about a hell of a win.
They were doing really good until those little measly kids showed up, started screaming and getting Clemson all their energy. 2,000 kids came and showed up. Their buses were late, so they were playing well. It was like an empty gym. That Memphis dominated them. One thing I like about this team is when they're clicking, but they have to get a hold of those turnover situations. If they get a hold of those, I think this team can make a long, long, long journey.
Well, they force a lot of turnovers. They do turn it all over a little bit, but damn it, dude. When have we had a team that knocked down their free throws and actually made it rain from outside? 48%, hit 12 threes, big ones from Hunter, Colby Rogers. They were knocking things down left and right. I mean, that's like those two dudes right there, they can stroke it from outside anytime I want. And I think Colby Rogers, the country star, might be the most NBA, I guess, ready prospect because that shot is pure.
Yes. Yeah, he can go to a team like Golden State or Dallas and just sit and because not only can he shoot the three, he can actually guard and defend too.
Dude, he can do a little bit of all of it, but man, when he comes off that screen and you just catch it and he turns and flicks and boom, it's pure and just nothing but net. Like that stuff gets you exciting because that is a quick, pure stroke. And I'm starting to fall in love with the country singer, but also, man, you know, like Moussa Cisse and Dane Danger, we are thin at the big men, and you know Moussa does get in a little bit of foul trouble. He is handsy, but both of them on the court at sometimes, you know, coming into each other. I mean, Moussa defensively ridiculous, blocking shots. Danger with his little tough, like I mean, he's just soft around the rim. He wants the basketball, and he made some big free throws down the stretch. What do you think about our bigs?
I love our bigs. I think the Clemson team that they play gonna be probably their best team they play with.
Dude, you got that Russian Lakin, and then you got Ian Shefflin, who drives me crazy.
Right. And he's a rebounding machine, and they held him down. So they did a good job on holding Ian down and keeping Ian off the boards. Because one thing Moussa is known for is rim protection, and I think once Memphis started getting that favorable whistle, you know, not running to these referees that like to call every little thing, because Memphis is a physical team because they like to get up and down, and they also like to get a little handsy too. So if they go run to a referee that let them play, I don't think no team can beat them.
A couple of those deadgum Clemson fans on, you know, the X and everything were like, man, they won't call anything. The Tigers did it. I'm like, man, shut up. We got a guy who fouled out, man. And by the way, though, speaking of Penny, man, we used to kind of complain about him playing too many people. Basically, Me.
Yeah.
Me.
Let's get that right.
That's right. I did throw you in there. Me. But right now, my man's basically running a 6-man rotation. Like, can they continue to do this? They got a hell of a stretch coming up.
Yeah, that's what's scary. You know, one thing I'm glad is they only got 28 games in college, but I worry that these guys are going to get worn down at the end of the year. You know, like Thibodeau, you know, they're good for the good regular season. They just need to find some easy wins so they can sit down and play only 20, 25 minutes, because I don't want all these minutes to catch up with them in March, because I want them to be fresh and ready to go in March.
I want them to be fresh and ready to go in March, and they should be, because this is their big stretch. You got Virginia on the road, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and then let's come back in January 2nd, and you play a weak American Conference. Like, you should be able to just kind of coast and chill. Like, heck, they can even go to 8 men in this and kind of let PJ up in that bad boy.
But you know one thing about it, every though these teams in America are not highly rated, when they come to Memphis, it's their Super Bowl. It's almost like they always have their best game against Memphis. It never fails. Every team have their best game against Memphis, because they know Memphis is the standard, because they know Memphis is more likely going to the tournament, and they know they're probably not going to the tournament, so they're going to beat Memphis and say, look, we beat Memphis.
Well, right now, Memphis has got to refocus. Remember Arkansas State? Crazy game. They refocused. The men went in there, took care of business. Penny said he didn't even show them the film. They focused on Clemson. They got a big dub. Now they go on the road. It's still Virginia, even though they're 6-4. They are 5-0 at home. What do you think about Wednesday's game, 6:00 on ESPN, the Deuce?
If they just play 80% to the level they played at Clemson, they should win by double digits.
I mean, I'm kind of with you. Is that Virginia team just really that bad?
No, that Memphis team is just really that good.
Oh, I like that.
Because you look at it, you know, Memphis gave Connecticut their first loss, and they just took all their life out of Connecticut. You know, they hadn't lost since they left Hawaii. You know, Auburn, you know, they gave Memphis a run, but I think Memphis, with the 8-man rotation, they just had tired legs. I think Memphis is a top 10 team in the nation. And I think they will, if they continue to roll through and they get through the conference with one loss in the conference, and they can, of these 3 games, go 2-3, Memphis should have a favorable bid for the tournament.
Man, why can't they go 3-0, baby? I'm talking about, like, we got Ole Miss and Mississippi State at the crib. Virginia's on the road. We're not losing a game until, like, we're not losing next year, baby.
You know what? You can't look at it like that. You got to look at the game to game. But if they get up for these 3 games that's coming up, because they play Wednesday night, then come back and play Saturday night, and then they have a week off and play Ole Miss, then they go to the conference, and then everything is looking peachy from there. Like I said, if you go 2-3 in those conference games, because all three of those games should be a quad one at the end of the season, and that would be good either way it goes.
Yeah, if you're playing anybody in the SEC, it's probably going to be a damn quad one. They got everybody and their grandmother in the top 25. I mean, Lord. Speaking of the SEC,
we thought that last year, but the teams that we thought were going to be good at the beginning of the year, all of them faded off. But I don't think that's going to be the case this year.
No, I definitely don't think that's going to be the case. Right now, out of all the players, who's your favorite player so far?
Man, it's hard to pick one, man, because I love the way Jourdain just does all the little things, tap the ball out to keep it alive, help keep Moosing them out of foul trouble by taking on the big guys, playing three positions, the 3, 4, and 5 when he needs to. It's just hard to pick. But if I had to pick one player, I think the guy the engine that stirs the train is PJ Harrigan.
Yeah, I love me some PJ. It's knock-kneed sideshow Bob, bro. Once you see it, you can't ever unsee it. And I love him, and I love everything he does. But, man, I'll tell you one thing. The country star, Colby Rogers, hitting those 3 in the corner, like when you had to have him. It was a must-have shot. I love that. And then Tyrese Hunter, he is just – he does whatever he needs to do. And the thing that's crazy about it is, all these dudes play together. And that's what I think I love about this basketball team. Man, they're out there busting their ass on defense. They are getting back. They're setting screens. They're picking each other up. I like the chemistry that they have. It's definitely not last year, that's for sure.
It's definitely not last year, because one thing about the team last year, you had a bunch of people that wanted to score, but no one wanted to defend. But this year's team, they want to defend. And people should not compare this team to last year's team, because, like I said, there's only one player from last year's team back. Jourdain. And, he's the only player back. And hopefully, if everything works out right, we might even have PJ coming back again next year.
Man. I'll tell you one thing. From the beginning of the year in the offseason to where I am right now, I am very pleasantly surprised. This might be my favorite Memphis team ever under Penny. And I was a big Kendrick man. I love me some Kendrick Davis, but damn, I'm loving me some, all of them. Hell, Danger. Even Musa, who I wasn't all that excited about. I mean, he drives me crazy with him bringing his hands down, but he's out there busting it. They hustle.
Yeah, he has really turned the page defensively. If he just learns how to stop reaching and stop going down below his waist, he can stay out of foul trouble.
More handsy than Terry Davis in a strip club. My goodness.
Hey.
Got to do me a favor, man. We got a football game, a little Frisco action on Tuesday. What's going on with the boys in blue in the football side?
It'd be a good thing to get another win against the Power Conference, but even if they don't get a win, they can always say, look, they had a 10-win back-to-back season. You playing a team that don't have a coach because Rich Rod don't come back until next year. So you can go out there and just beat them and get the season over with and just move on and have a 11-win season.
Well, what are they going to do about quarterback next year? How you feeling about that?
Oh, man, you know what, man? It's so much going. We got the guy from Florida, Mr. Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got, the guy that's still in the backup quarterback. And then you got the SMU quarterback looking to possibly come here. So it's going to be wide open, man. And, and you just have to put trust in Silverfield and hopefully make the right decision, because if we get the guy from SMU, Mr. Antoine Hill may not come, and we might lose Arrington Madison. You never know.
It's football. And by the way, since I got you today, man, the college football playoffs happening this weekend, starting Friday night. Before I let you go, man, who you like? Game 1, Indiana, Notre Dame. Who you got?
Indiana.
You got them to straight up, or are you taking the points?
What point? Straight up. It's a man's world. You win.
It's a man's world.
Indiana.
I like that. That's man. Come on, Kurt Signetti, get that thing going. Notre Dame's defense is pretty good, man. They're a little bit scary. SMU, Penn State.
Penn State.
Tennessee, Ohio State.
Only because Tennessee can run the ball.
Tennessee. I love that. I like Tennessee, man. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really do. And man, could you imagine Tennessee win? And then you got all them Tennessee fans going out to the Rose Bowl against Oregon. Man, Vol Nation,
you know what happened, right?
About the Tennessee people cracking the code?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, I know. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was. I love that. That's why you if you try to be fair to people, it's like you got 100,000 people in there and you don't want to do it. That's how come all these games should be on neutral sites. Even though I like them being on campus, make it 50-50. It should be 50-50.
Man, they were only going to allot 3,500 tickets
Right,
for Tennessee
right,
fans
and that's not
in a
right, 'cause
105,000 person stadium.
This is not a new. This is a freaking playoff game. The NCAA or the BCS should take her over, and 50-50 should be allotted to tickets. If you don't sell them, then you don't sell them. But you should at least have the right to buy at least half the stadium.
I'm with you, man. Clemson, do they get rocked by Texas?
Get rocked like a rocking chair.
I'm with you right there, man.
I'm not a big Dabo guy. You know that.
I know. I'm not either. I think this Texas team's gonna go out there and Sark's gonna run it up on them boys.
But you know what? You know my word is about Texas and Tennessee. They both got one thing in common.
What?
They looking for the banana peel.
Oh, just slip up.
Yep.
Yeah, they did. Man. They've been known to do it a lot. Now, last, one other little quick question. Speaking of this, Travis Hunter, what do you think about the Heisman?
You know what? Between him or Genty, I had no problem with either one of them because both of them had special seasons. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people wanted Hunter because they support Deion and what he does and what he did at Jackson State in Colorado. But Genty, if you just look at the pure numbers, he had a very special season. He had a Barry Sanders-like season. And in the day and age where people don't run the ball, that's very impressive.
That is impressive, man. Terry, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy your week. We'll do it again. Where you going, man? You going to be anywhere? You going to be out on the road? I can't believe you weren't in L.A.
I know, man. It's a new Terry. I'm staying at home, and I'm going to chill until the All-Star game.
I dig it, man. Sit back, relax. Get you some Tito's, okay, buddy?
If you say so, my brother.
That is my good buddy, Terry Davis. We're going to take a quick time out. We're going to come back on the other side. We got to we haven't even touched on the NFL. I got Hardwood because it feels so good because there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on in the world, like some real funny stuff. And we got to make some bets. Don't you dare touch that dial. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Fall is football at the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland, Town Square. Monday through Friday, it's happy hour for free sales. $1 off all draft meals, $5 off meal drinks, $4.50 for house wine, mozzarella sticks, queso, $4 a day. Friday night ice cream, 7 Club, dining in Montreal, wings, free. Watch college football every pro game. All in the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Highway 70. Fall is football.
Give the gift of entertainment.
2 hours ago, Kyle Lowry got the a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle. The chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 big airlines and the largest match ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Hey everybody, nothing says holiday fun like driving home in a new All-Star Chevy. It's the Red Tag event here in Olive Branch that could get you some big customer cash or financing as low as $0. How about a new Tahoe or Silverado? Maybe a new Blazer or Suburban. Together, let's drive into Christmas and the New Year in a new All-Star Chevrolet. Some will have special financing and no payments until spring, and your good credit deserves it. Olive Branch is where all the new Silverados and Tahoes are. New 24s and 25s. If you're law enforcement, first responder, healthcare, year, military education, recent grad, you get a $500 bonus. And every late model pre-owned you're looking for is here in one place. All the Silverados, all the Jeeps, Toyotas, Lexus, Ram trucks, Ford trucks, SUVs, and check out this Camaro ZL1. If you got any vehicle you want to sell, bring it here to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. So don't miss this final holiday red tag sale going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Happy Monday, everybody. Got a little doubleheader action Monday, a little NFL. The games aren't great, but you can still bet on them, and you know we're going to be betting, my man. We're going to be betting. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before I just jump on anything, you know, like sometimes I almost sound like I'm like not really pro-marriage, you would say.
Okay.
Sometimes I say that, even though I'm engaged and I love Chad, she's the greatest thing in the world, boom, boom, boom. Like, you know, like sometimes I'm like, oh, man, he's about to go south. Remember when Josh Allen got engaged?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I cannot believe the kind of season this man's having, and he goes out there and gets engaged. Now, he got engaged to this very, very lovely lady, Haley Steinfeld. Since he's got engaged, do you know that he's gone completely banana sandwiches? We're talking about in the last 3 games since he announced his unbelievable engagement, he's thrown for 852 yards, 7 touchdowns. He has 0 interceptions. 0 interceptions. And guess what else? My man's also doing it with his legs. Oh, and by the way, his QBR is 123.9. He's also run for 168 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's 13 touchdowns in 3 freaking games. Do we go ahead and write it in permanent ink that Josh Allen's going to be the MVP? Kind of wonder now. The interesting thing, though, is Lamar Jackson. Have you looked at his numbers this year? My man was running yesterday, pulling his britches up, like just schooling folks. And by the way, he's only thrown for 3,580 yards, 34 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. He's number 2 in all of football in QBR, right behind, of course, our buddy Josh. I don't think in any normal, like if you look back, if we were to say, I mean, Lamar's already won 2 MVPs, which is wild. I mean, he's had crazy good seasons. Needs to have a little more postseason success. But Josh Allen is like right there with him. And to think that there could be a world where Lamar Jackson could have 3 MVPs to Josh Allen's 0 kind of sounds lunacy, doesn't it? Feels that way. But damn, Lamar's still having that season. Josh Allen's getting things buck. And now, Jared Goff, who was absolutely in fuego all season long, and I don't think the ceiling's falling by any means, and he's still good. But yesterday, Buffalo Bills stopping Josh Allen, he could not be stopped. Like, could not be stopped, period. Like, it was ridiculous. And did you see this team that is the best running team in football, the Lions? Did you see how mixed up and mismatched their run-to-pass ratio was yesterday? Because they found themselves behind, had to throw the football. I mean, Jared Goff threw 5 touchdown passes yesterday. He threw for 494 yards. They threw it the ball 59 times. They only ran it 15 because Josh Allen was just dropping bombs on folks. He ran for 2 touchdowns. He threw for 2 touchdowns, 362 yards. And by the way, Buffalo ran the ball 34 times for 197 yards. Why? Because everybody for Detroit is hurt. Like, I mean, I'm talking about their whole defensive front banged up. Their secondaries are beat to all get out. I feel bad because what looked like Dan Campbell's, masterpiece is falling apart because they are decimated by injury. They better go find some defensive backs and some linemen, man, defensive front, because I don't know how you're going to win in the playoffs. Playoffs. We're going to talk a little NFL, college football playoffs, make a couple nuggets and notes on a little NBA And don't forget, we got Hardwood because it feels so good at 12:30, and I'll give you my bets at 12:50. But I got to remind you, Christmas is right around the corner. Where do you go? Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. Why? Because they got everything. They got a children's department, kids covered. They got a ladies' boutique, got the wife, and they got a men's section. They got more jeans, Ariat to Wrangler, and everything in between in the largest boot showroom on planet Earth. Those white boots are popular. Man, get your girl some white boots. Man, they can dress you from head to toe at Frontier Western Store. 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. If you go online right now, hurry up. They ship their order out within 24 hours at frontierwesternstore.com. We're back in two shakes. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Parking lot on Summer just keeps getting bigger and better. Bigger because now there's a second Elwood Shack at 4040 Park across from the University of Memphis. And better because you can get breakfast every day at both Elwoods. There's the barbecue breakfast burrito, either beef brisket or pork shoulder, and pancake biscuits made fresh daily. Real house-made pancakes, apple and bacon, French toast, and more. And the new Elwood even has a real coffee bar serving fresh roasted J. Brooks coffee. Elwood Shack, now in 2 locations and open every day for you.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
It's a holiday experience like no other. The Light Garden at Olive Branch City Park. It's a walk-through entertainment extravaganza with hundreds of giant 3D Christmas-like displays, photos with Santa, food and drinks, and special events including fireworks on New Year's Eve. New this year is a winter-inspired 18-hole miniature golf course. Bring the family out nightly through January 1st. Go to lightgarden.online for details and to buy tickets. Now stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM for chances to win tickets to go see the Light Garden.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporty luxury. Test drive one and Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10.
I was one of those things, when things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 at 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It's a happy Monday. 2 NFL games. You got the Bears. You got the Vikings. 7 o'clock. Then it's 7:30. Atlanta and them Raiders. We're going to talk a little NFL action. You know, the college football playoff kicking things off Friday night. I am fired up for these 4 games. We will definitely be talking about these things all dead gum week. And then the Tigers. What a win. Like, I don't know about you, but I know I was fired up after they basically dominated the first half. Came out there and then, lost a little bit, but they kept fighting, raced a 6 points deficit, forced overtime. Defense was filthy. And Tigers got a huge win. Did you know that's the best road win for Penny Hardaway since he's been here? Highest ranked win on the road since he has been at the University of Memphis. It could not have come at a better time. Like, we needed that bad boy. Now, we got to talk a little bit about the National Football League. If you look right now and you start thinking to yourself about, of course, playoffs, because that's what we do. That's what's important. Some teams really help themselves. Some teams are like right now just sinking like a ship. We're going to talk about them. But first, I got to go back to, like, on Tuesday, I'm doing my power rankings. You know that. And I've had Detroit way, way up there. I mean, they won 11 straight games. They're 12-2 on the season. Their differential, their point differential is plus 177. I'm thinking to myself, man, this Detroit team over in the NFC, like, they got a real chance. Eagles, they're having problems with A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts, is he going to be it? Do you trust Nick Sirianni? Is Minnesota for real? Packers look pretty damn good right now. That whole NFC North is filthy, but the Rams over in the West, Seahawks last night, we saw what they are. Kind of scared of Baker Mayfield in Tampa. My boy's slinging it. They've won 4 straight. But it felt like this was Detroit's division to lose. This is this is their conference, NFC. They got this. And then all of a sudden, you had Aiden Hutchinson go out, broke his tibia and his fibia back in October. You got Marcus Davenport, tore his triceps. Linebacker Alex Anzalone broke his arm. They're going to be they've missed most of the season. They done. Now I got to give Aaron Glenn some love because he's been kind of creatively, I would say, blitzing like a madman and doing a whole lot of single coverage, man to man. And the blitz rate was way high. But right now, they can't get to anybody with 4. They always have to blitz. You got man coverage. We saw with Josh Allen. He just absolutely destroyed them. And then, sadly, cornerback Khalil Dorsey suffered a gruesome leg injury. It's kind of reminded me of the Aiden Hutchins situation. So now you already have a thin defensive back. You have McNeil suffered a knee injury. Their veteran cornerback Carlton Davis III hurt his jaw. Do they have a team to go forward? I mean, you talk about, early in the season, you get hit by the injury bug is one thing. Remember, Isaiah Pacheco couldn't be playing for Kansas City Chiefs, but guess who's back? Guess who's rolling? Isaiah. Now they're worried about, of course, Pat Mahomes and his ankle.
Listed week to week.
They got, 3 games in 11 days? Because they have the Christmas Day game on Wednesday. Short week this week. I don't see him playing. I mean, I don't know if people realize I'm all worried about Detroit, but I'm not worried about Kansas City. I mean, they're 13-1. 13-1. And they just get it done. That's what they do. But you look at the AFC, anybody can win that. Over in the NFC, I thought it was the Detroit Lions. Right now, I feel like it's bar none, no questions asked. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. They are ridiculous. They are talented. Jalen Hurts, that whole A.J. Brown situation, he got him 11 balls yesterday. They were scoring. What did they do, that Kid and Play little dance? Was that Kid and Play? Or you wouldn't know probably. You're too young. But Jalen Hurts looked absolutely filthy as the Eagles destroyed the Steelers, 27-13. Barkley's running the bad boy. Hurts threw 2 touchdown passes, 8 receptions, 110 yards for A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown, you can't guard him man-to-man. I mean, he's going to win. The Eagles can run it. They can throw it. They play nasty defense. They pretty much got it all right now over in the NFC. They've knocked off the Lions for that throne. It's just, it's wild. And then I saw some other things that kind of make me feel good about the Packers. Everybody, I like Jordan Love. Good Jordan Love can beat anybody. I know that Brian Dacus knows because he saw it with his Dallas Cowboys team last year, his first playoff game on the road. He outplayed Dak Prescott, and the Packers dominated. This Packers team can run the football with Josh Jacobs. That offensive line is getting ridiculous. I mean, they went out there and they absolutely manhandled Seattle. And the defense for Seattle had been really good over the last month. Over the last 4 weeks, they have been salty. And then all of a sudden, the Packers came into town, and Josh Jacobs and them boys just ran the ball right down their throat. Packers look really damn good. But the crazy thing is does anybody want to run into the Bucs and Baker Mayfield right now? How many people out there thought Baker Mayfield was washed? Because I'm going to put my hand in the air. Came out, number 1 overall pick out of Oklahoma. Baller. And then, you go to Cleveland. What happens? Where do quarterbacks go to die? They go to the Browns. I mean, poor Jameis Winston, my favorite player in the NFL. What do you have, 4 picks yesterday? Mm-hmm. He almost played as bad as Will Levis. By the way, are we done with Will Levis? Do we even have to have this conversation? Like,
look, I'm no Titans fan, so I can't really speak. But it's not fun watching. I can tell you that.
Okay, just Tennessee fan, check with me. 901-360-8255, Sissy's Log Cabin text and listener line. Because life's too short for ordinary jewelry. Will Levis, yesterday, stat line. I think it was one of the worst stat lines that you could ever have. I'm trying to find it real quick because I know I saw a whole bunch of picks because that's the highlights for Will Levis. They actually jumped on the Bengals early. Joe Burrow was all ticked off on the sideline, and then Will Levis, on 12 pass attempts, threw 3 interceptions. That's Jameis Winston. That's as bad as almost Jameis. Crazy thing about Jameis, did you know he, since he took over the starting job in the Browns, is second in passing yards over that stretch?
Wow.
He's also second in touchdowns, but he's thrown the most interceptions over that stretch than anybody in the NFL. I mean, he's going. If you call a pass, he's going to throw the damn ball. Sometimes he throws it to the other team. But man, Will Levis is just terrible. But again, back to Baker Mayfield. They won 4 straight, and now Mike Evans. Don't look now. Mike Evans is back. 9 receptions, 159 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Baker's boys are playing really good. They went out there and dismantled Jim Harbaugh's Chargers. And that defense has been salty all season long, have they not? Chargers been good. Buccaneers are beating the brakes off of people. And Baker Mayfield looks really, 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 really good. They've won 4 straight now. You beat the Giants and the Panthers and the Raiders. Not all that impressive, but the way they've handled them and the way they beat the Chargers, they got the Cowboys, Panthers, and Saints. That schedule is soft as baby poo. They're going to be in the playoffs. And Baker's going to be annoying because he's the feistiest little sucker you've ever seen. I kind of like it. I don't want to see Tampa Bay. And do you think Mike Evans ever gets the credit he deserves?
No.
Would you consider Mike Evans? If you asked anybody out there right now in the NFL, name the top 15 receivers in the NFL, do they get to Mike Evans?
They do not.
Crazy. Why is that?
I don't know.
How come some people get so much love and then other people just don't get nada? My boy McBride out in Arizona, nobody gives this guy any love. Trey McBride. But he's been a baller this year. Kid out of Colorado State. And you know how high I was on Kyler Murray. I love me some Kyler Murray because he does things that you see on a football field that nobody else can do. But when it comes to just throwing a 5-yard out, sometimes that's like surgery. And you worry about what he can do. But you got James Conner running the ball. You got McBride. You got Harrison Jr. You got a really good little nucleus. I liked them. They're 7-7 on the season. But you played the Patriots, who are just absolutely terrible. But I will say, is Drake May much better than you expected? Out of all the quarterbacks right now that were drafted last year, Drake May might be. Bo Nix is definitely up there. But I wasn't very high on Drake. 3rd pick out of North Carolina. And he's got some talent, and he has nobody to throw the football to. How did the Patriots get like they don't have anybody. They don't have anybody to run the damn ball. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson's all right. Gibson's all right. Sorry, Antonio, who's a former Tiger. All right. They don't have receivers. Kendrick Bourne, Hunter Henry, Kayshon Boutte. That's like who he's throwing to. Still looks pretty good. But then yesterday in the National Football League, the craziest thing. So we had the Denver Broncos. It was a very, very, very large play. Minus the 4.5. Did you see the opening of that ball game?
No, John, I was at a Christmas parade.
What did you do at the Christmas parade? Did you
watched people walk through? I don't know. What
like, was it here in Memphis?
It was in Germantown, yeah.
Oh, they did it in Germantown? Oh, I didn't even know they were doing all that stuff. Anthony Richardson and the Colts were pretty handily taking care of the Denver Broncos. Did you see Jonathan Taylor run for a touchdown?
How about that? Not run for a touchdown.
They would have been up 20. They would have been up 20-7 in the third quarter, and all the momentum changed. The Denver Broncos went on to cover and win 31-13.
That's right.
And I've never felt so blessed to win a bet in my life. Like how you mark that as a loss. You look up, and all of a sudden you're like, they scored 21 points in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
How did it happen? You go to the X and all you see is Jonathan Taylor dropping the ball. Now the other question is did you see the replay? How did they not have a side view of that? Did you like I'll always see these little pylon cams. Like, do they only do those in certain games with certain broadcasts? Because every single view was from behind. I couldn't tell from the view.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think the NFL every game would have
a pylon cam.
But I don't know. It's a good question because I'm sure. I mean, the pylon cams have to be. You'd think they'd be produced by the TV networks, right? Because they have the equipment. They're the ones connecting it to cameras and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's a good question.
Damn, man. More bad news for the Lions.
What's that?
Montgomery's out.
Oh, really?
Yep, he's out indefinitely after suffering a sprained MCL.
Wow.
Damn, man. Nothing's going good for Detroit right now.
No, you're right about that, John. I do have good news though in terms of college basketball. If you would like that,
I love hoops, man. What do you got?
Memphis
is it Memphis?
Is number 21 in the AP poll, so back in the top 25, John.
Did you say 21?
21. That's right.
Good number.
Is it?
Good man. Didn't you love turning 21?
Yeah. I mean, it was a good birthday, I guess.
No better than the other ones.
No, I mean, I had nothing that really stood out in it.
Oh, okay. Do me a favor. How many SEC teams are in that bad boy?
Good question. Let me find it. Hold on,
because I mean, there are. I think there are 9 in the top 25. Is that right?
I don't know. It just dropped. Let me pull it up, John.
Tennessee's going to be 1.
Yeah,
Auburn's going to be 2nd.
All right, let's walk through this together.
Kentucky's got to be up there.
All right, here we go. You ready? Tennessee number 1, Auburn number 2, Kentucky number 4, Alabama number 6, Florida number 7, Texas A&M number 12, Oklahoma number 14, Ole Miss 17.
Yeah.
That's it. So.
Oh, that's only 8.
8.
Oh, Mississippi State, they're not in there?
Mississippi State is not in there. They would be 29 if we.
Damn it, Mississippi State, get your stuff together.
But how about this? Mississippi State would be 26, Arkansas would be 27, and Missouri would be 28.
Good Lord.
Wow.
Lordy.
But you had three. You had one new. I don't know how many new teams you had, John. I was trying to figure that out.
Oh, don't even sweat it, man. That ain't all that big. But right now,
you have Memphis as a new one. That's for sure.
That's what matters, man. Now the one thing is, are we going to look back? And I don't want to do this. Gosh dang it! I got so agitated listening to Jeff Brightwell and Wolo, and it wasn't because of what they were saying. It was just because of the reality that they kept. They're like that quad 3 loss. Like my goodness, like. To get that one back and not let it slip away after the way you took care of Clemson on the road, the way you dropped UConn and Michigan State. Man, like right now we're playing for seeding. We're not playing to get in the tournament.
Yeah, it feels like it, right?
It does feel like it today. If they go and wax Virginia and drop Mississippi State, and it's a really good game against Ole Miss.
Mississippi State will be a great game.
Just tell them to get back in the top 25 before next week.
Let's see who. Well, they won't because that game's on Saturday, so they won't be in the top 25.
Well,
they'll be number 26.
It still could be a quad one win.
It'll still be a great game. Who does Mississippi State have?
I think Central Michigan.
Well, that's
not going to help.
Don't look.
No, not going to help.
Yeah, they
at all.
Yeah, they have Central Michigan tomorrow night.
SEC football, basketball, they doing it all. Damn, top 25 out. Memphis back in it. Only out a week. I love it. I can't. But by the way, though, did you? When they got down by 6 with about a minute and a half, did you think that there was did you 100% were you screaming at the TV and saying, "Man, they let it slip away"? Were you doing that like I was?
I was not, but I didn't. I thought they were going to lose that game when they were down like that. Because I mean, look, Clemson was rolling. Clemson's a good team, and the way that environment was looking, I thought that they would probably lose that narrowly.
How in the hell does Mississippi State, who was 25 last week, win and get dropped?
Because you had 2 new teams jump into the top 25. So they had to knock somebody down, and unfortunately Mississippi State was the team to get knocked down.
I think they were saying we just can't put every SEC team in the damn top 25.
Well, you should be happy that Mississippi State is out, because if Mississippi State had stayed in, that could have meant Memphis didn't jump up into the top 20. It would have been Dayton that wouldn't have jumped up in the top 25, but, tomato, tomato.
Man, wild. Big college basketball game this week. Did you, I don't know, man. Clemson, I can't tell how great Clemson is. I know they're the ugliest basketball team I've ever seen.
Yeah, you're not a fan of some of their players.
No, I'm not.
I've learned.
I'm not a big fan. I mean, I'm no offense. They're decent basketball players. Like that Ian Shefflin kid, though, just drives me crazy.
Decent. He's good, really good player.
He can't jump, but somehow he always gets the damn rebound. Dude's got a little bit of a stroke.
He's a good player.
And then they got, of course, the commie over there. By the way, Locken has a soft 3-point shot, doesn't he?
He played at Cincinnati.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so Memphis played him before.
Yeah, and then that Zachary dude, I just could not stand him.
And then the brothers, Chase Hunter and the other Hunter.
Yeah, there were a lot of Hunters out there.
There were 3.
Yeah. The boy Tyrese Hunter was the baller.
And then they kept talking about, because it was on ESPN too, so they were doing promotion throughout the whole game, and so they start talking about Travis Hunter and the Heisman, because the Heisman ceremony was that night. So you're talking about 4 different Hunters throughout the game.
Do you know that Tyrese Hunter's shooting 51% from the 3-point line this year?
How about that?
52% on the road. Man's got some ice. Do you think that Colby Rogers, though, has the easiest will have he just looks the most NBA ready with that shot? I mean, that's a quick stroke, and it's pure.
Yeah, he's a good player. Been knocking him down. He was huge in that game.
And I mean, to win a game where PJ Haggerty only got to the free throw line 8 times, I also thought was impressive. By the way, did you think the officiating? I thought it was pretty consistent throughout.
Yeah, no, I thought the officiating was fine.
Man, I still can't though believe, man. Tigers got it done. Oh, that felt so good. But again, before I get off, I got to tell you a little bit about the NFL. Again, we got 2 games tonight: Bears and the Vikings, the Falcons and the Raiders. Totals are about the same. The lines are about the same. Minnesota 7, total 43.5. Atlanta 6.5, total 44.5. We're going to tell you who's going to win. But before we do that, we got some funny stories on the other side. Have you heard about these drones in Jersey and stuff?
Yeah.
Are they UFOs or are they drones?
I don't know. It's a good question.
They say they're not, some lady said they're not from, they're not ours. Do you shoot them down? Do we just start shooting things down?
I mean, if they're, I think honestly, John, that might tell you if they're drones or if they're UFOs. If they're drones, you shoot them down. If they're not, if they're UFOs, you don't shoot them down.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I do know a guy. I'm going to tell you what his theory is on it.
Start an intergalactic war.
It's kind of scary, like this dude's theory, and he knows pretty good. He seems like he's smart on the TikTok.
Wow. Okay.
Dude, his little thing is his little TikTok video is trending like a mug. Okay. okay?
Okay, I can't wait.
We're going to talk about that and so much more. But if you love sports and Mexican food, get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill. It's right there at Summer near Graham. You can watch all the games. You can eat all the dope food because guess what? They got every single day from 10 a.m. to 3. You can get lunch specials, $7 to $11. You got to be kidding me. They got happy hour, 3 to 8. Man, experience real Mexican cuisine with great sports at Los Cabos again, right there at Summer and Graham. Los Cabos, where the flavors of Mexico melt in your mouth. Back in 2 shakes with a little wood. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio. We are Sports 56 and 98.5.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis.
Indulge yourself or your loved ones this season with a trip to Sissy's Log Cabin. Here, you can shop our
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it?
Ho, 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 Mid-South, you're not going to...
It's the Razorbacks on Texas Tech Red Raiders and this year's
Welcome back. I guess what happened? We lost our Phantom, man. Well, welcome back. We got a little bit of Bears. We got some Vikings. We got Falcons, Raiders tonight, man. Tigers got a big dub. They're back in the top 25. They're at 21 right now over in the poll. Tigers. Absolutely love what Memphis is doing. Colby Rogers, the country singer. PJ Haggerty, Knock Neat Sideshow Bob. They got a big one this Wednesday. They play Virginia on the road. But Memphis back in the top 25. Now, in the NBA, we got to talk about Zach Edey. But first, we're going to take a quick, actual, real timeout this time. We'll be back in 2 shakes, yo. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that provides cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback, hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 for you, a newly renovated 50,000-square-foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-sized courts, 3 high school-sized courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member in both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Indulge yourself or your loved ones this season with a trip to Sissy's Log Cabin. Here, you can shop our expansive selection of designer brands, one-of-a-kind jewelry, and spectacular statement pieces, all while enjoying the Sissy's promise of unmatched quality, service, and brilliant natural diamonds. Stop by any location or shop online at sissyslogcabin.com to find your trusted jeweler for holiday memories that last a lifetime. Make a statement this season only at Sissy's Log Cabin.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Ho, 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 Mid-South, you're not going to believe the deals happening at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. It's the Signs and Drive sales event. 0 down payment, 0
Zero security deposit, zero first month lease payment, zero due at signing. Marty McNade at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown's got 2024 Peak Edition Atlas, $5,000 off. 2024 Tiguan, 0% for 60 months. 2024 Taos S, 0 down, $337 a month. Plus, get brand new 2023 Taos, $25,999. You gotta get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com. Ask for Marty McNade at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, and remember, your future's what you make it.
It's the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Texas Tech Red Raiders in this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Plus, I'm your Ohio Vayner Phoenix Cavaliers. Arizona's winning the ball at halftime. It's all happening December 27th at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. You will be there too. Get your tickets today by calling the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at 795-7700. That's the Razorbacks and the Red Raiders, December 27th. Tennessee Highway 75. The fans, the Red Raiders, ride through.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a Monday, and it's a great Monday, man. A lot of NFL action. Tigers had a big, big win on Saturday. They're back in the top 25 if they beat Clemson, who was 16th in the country, on the road at their crib. Big dub. They play Virginia, Mississippi State, and then Ole Miss, and then they'll start conference play in the American in the new year on January 2nd. So let's go 3-0. Keep moving up there. We're playing for seeding, not just the NCAA tournament. Memphis. Now, you need a perfect finish every time. Let me tell you something. Powder coat, don't paint it. Powder coating is where it's at. It doesn't rust. It happens with a quickness. It's science. It's awesome. If you have some old patio furniture, anything metal, I mean, you can do automotive, you can do ornamental, you can do anything that's metal, you can powder coat it. They got all the beautiful colors. It'll be a perfect finish every time. Go to rickspowdercoating.com for a perfect finish every time. Make sure you always go with Rick's. Let's go to Hardinwood.
This is Access Hardinwood.
Man. I told you about Will Levis not being all that great, right?
Yeah.
I know why he was so bad yesterday. Do you know that his ex-girlfriend, Gia Duddy, who they were, going to be together forever, and he dumped her. She ended up showing up at the game with her new boyfriend at Nissan Stadium to watch, I guess, Will Levis play. Made her presence felt because he threw 12 passes and 3 of them were picks. Was Will thinking about the one that got away? I don't know, man. But, dude, I bet it had to feel good for his girlfriend to watch the man who just dumped her go out there and get replaced for Mason Rudolph. Wow. Now, my question is, though, was she going to, she has 1 million followers. Did she get a lot of those followers from when Will Levis went to the NFL and they saw her in the, the draft room or did she already have all those because she was like a supermodel?
I think she already had those.
She already had those? So she doesn't owe anything to him.
No, I don't think so.
But she also did, I don't know if you saw this, after she put out, after Will Levis threw his 3rd interception and she got benched, do you know what she put on her Instagram?
What's that?
Karma. Seems like she's still a little salty, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It does. It does feel that way. Speaking of girlfriends, what are we going to do about Travis Hunter? We're going to have to get in his ear and say, hey, man, your girlfriend's kind of mean. Well, he came out and defended her, the Heisman Trophy winner. There was a little backlash because he was basically at a scheduled event to meet the fans and have them take pictures of him. And, of course, somebody had their phone out because now everybody has their phone out. And she was sitting there And when I say she was complaining, she was complaining. She's saying, what do you want me to do? I just sit here all day? Is that what I have to do? I just sit here and watch you take pictures with folks all day? A lot of people got a little bit upset. But Travis came out there and said they're inseparable. They're together for life. She was with me from the beginning. And I'm not talking about the beginning because that's his mama. But his girlfriend, he said, also had a huge role in him going with Deion Sanders. In fact, Shedeur Sanders, after all the backlash from Travis Hunter and the girlfriend debacle situation, went out there and said, basically, when Hunter became the highest rated player in the history to sign with the HBCU, and then, of course, followed Deion to Colorado, he turned down a ton of NIL money. He made some, don't get me wrong, he made it at Colorado too. But he turned down a ton, at Florida State especially. They said Deion, right before he was about to sign with Florida State, he says, like, look, I know this is going to have a big impact on your life, but you're a humble kid, and we want you to, we know you can take whatever comes at you or your way. He basically said, you go to a big program, you're not going to play both sides of the ball. Follow me, and it'll be a simple choice. You'll get to play both sides. I got you. All of a sudden, he says that he spent a week talking to his girlfriend. And his girlfriend was ultimately the one who convinced him that he needed to follow Deion Sanders to an HBCU. Uh-oh, people. He might not be a Heisman Trophy winner had he just gone to Florida State. So maybe his girlfriend just saved his career. And she knows it, but she's just frustrated because he's always getting all the pub. I get it. I'd be a little jealous too. But yeah, he said it wasn't his family. It was his girlfriend. And he's going to stick with her forever. So congratulations, Travis Hunter, and your lovely little life. Now, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, and it has all to do with basically this. I mean, you've seen the New Jersey, the situation, right? Like, I kind of went down a little rabbit hole yesterday before the games, just kind of laying there like, what's all this drone situation?
It's a good question, but I'm curious, you're a TikTok expert and what he has to say.
Well, he's not just an expert. He's a founder in a company that does cutting-edge unmanned aircraft, and he sells them all to U.S. military. And he offered one of the most chilling explanation of the wave of drone sightings that are sweeping America, especially the Northeast. John Ferguson, a military veteran with over 25 years experience in drone technology, came out and said the only reason that you would ever fly aircraft that's unmanned at night is if you're looking for something. And he says this is his theory. Back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan dismantled a bunch of nuclear warheads. Russia was doing it. Ukraine, the Soviet Union was collapsing. They were disarming and disposing of nuclear waste. Did you know that there were over 80 nuclear warheads that were in Ukraine that came up missing and nobody knows where they are?
Really?
80 nuclear warheads are missing from them. He said he thinks somebody, this is scary as hell, man. I hope, don't freak out. This is his reckless speculation, okay? Calm down, people. But he thinks that they're actually military drones looking for a lost nuke on the East Coast up in Jersey, bro. This is like straight up some Jack Bauer stuff, man. I'm all for it.
I guess better than UFOs.
I mean, I don't know about that.
Really?
I mean, like a UFO, you would think if you could, like, come from another, hell, I don't know.
I mean, I guess if they come in peace, right?
I mean, you think
they don't come in peace.
Like, they're just, like, you don't just, like, hey, man, let's go check out Earth and, like, kill everything.
I wouldn't think so, but, I mean, I'm no alien. Also never come in contact with an alien.
Now, another person who's very popular on TikTok said, this is just the beginning. 2025. We're going to find out that aliens are real.
So this person's saying that it is aliens.
There's one person that's popular that says it's aliens. The other person, who's a military guy, says they're looking for a nuclear warhead from the 1980s that was snuck out of Ukraine. Dude, 80 nuclear warheads are missing? That kind of makes me a little nervous.
So which one do you believe? That's the question.
That's a great question. Which one do I believe?
Because that's what the people want to know. What does Johnny Radio believe? Does he believe that these are drones looking for nuclear warheads, or that these are
it's more
UFOs,
than likely that
aliens.
It's more likely that it would be the more likely scenario is they're looking for a nuclear warhead with our military drone technology than actually aliens. I mean, like, bro, don't you think Elon Musk or like maybe somebody in space would have found one of them suckers out there yet?
What if they're not supposed to talk about it? Like, what if he signed like an NDA that he wouldn't talk about it?
As much as I love the show Ancient Aliens, and by the way, if you ever can't go to sleep, put it on a little Ancient Aliens. Giorgio Tsoukalos will talk you right to bed. I don't think they're real.
Oh, okay.
Like we would have found out by now, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
What about the theory that the government is well aware of aliens, but they don't want
to tell us
to know because we would all like go into mass hysteria.
Would we go into mass hysteria? We watched so many damn alien movies and like.
Yeah, but usually in those movies, the aliens come and like try to destroy Earth. So maybe.
Do you remember? Speaking of like not aliens, but like something that's kind of scary. When you weren't alive. When I was a young boy, we went to school, and one day there was a guy who came out and said, the New Madrid Fault is going to have a massive earthquake on this day, and they closed down schools.
The
and like
big
they
one.
believe this dude.
Yeah.
Well, I got some bad news about that big one. Did you know we had a couple little mini earthquakes over the New Madrid Fault this week? Yep.
That's the one in California. They had a bigger.
No, I'm talking about the one that we're sitting on, like Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Illinois.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Like
I was thinking
that's
the one in
going to break
California.
us.
Okay, no, I did not know we had that. Okay.
In fact, they say the chance of a 7.0 magnitude earthquake or higher in the next 50 years is now 50%.
But you're saying 50. We had some earthquakes. I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, we had a couple little ones, man. Like you had a 3.0 magnitude one at like 6:27 a.m. and then you had another one.
Where did these happen?
This Howardville. You know, like over by the Mississippi River and stuff. Little Missouri, little Memphis, little St. Louis. The one thing though that scared me is in reading this article. It basically said the destruction of St. Louis, Missouri, Memphis, Tennessee, and all that area, the damage would be so bad that most people wouldn't make it.
Huh.
And I was thinking to myself, do you want to do the radio on the road for the next 50 years?
Yeah, let's like, where can we do it from?
I mean, anywhere but right here, bro. That's
a good question.
That kind of makes me that doesn't make me just a little bit nervous. That makes me really, really nervous. Now, Juan Soto, you know how he went to the Mets, right?
You have nothing to hide under if the earthquake hits
like
in that room.
No, I don't.
I have plenty to hide. I don't know if I would want to hide under this though. Might not stand.
UFOs and earthquakes.
So in like school, you always did the earthquake drills where you like hid under the desk.
Do you think that was going to help?
That's what I always said. I was like, this little desk that always breaks, like you'd always see the desks breaking and stuff like that. Like, yeah, this is going to protect me from an earthquake.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Did you see that Devondre Campbell, the sorry 49ers player who wouldn't go back in the game for the 49ers, is only going to get a 3-game suspension from the team?
Is that right? Wow. There was a story last week that said that they were going to
cut him.
Yeah.
Like,
they
get
were
rid
cut
of
ties
him.
with
See
him.
ya, bye, never coming back. How do you go back in the locker room after you wouldn't go in there for your brothers? Because they pay you? Is that why?
Yeah, John, I'm going to keep what I was going to say to myself.
I mean, I'm telling you right now.
Jordan Brown.
Oh, goodness. You know what? That's I forgot about him so fast because I put that whole team from last year in the past. Well, he's coming back for the 49ers. I don't know how. I don't think I'd be very happy with him. And then did you hear about remember when Freddie Freeman hit that walk-off grand slam in Game 1?
Yeah.
Changed the entire tide of the World Series?
Yeah.
Like, why did you bring in Nestor? I still don't understand that move. But anyway, Boone, good job. How much do you think that ball sold for?
Probably a lot of money.
They just did it this weekend. It sold for $1.5 million. Wow. In fact, it's the third most valuable baseball in the history. It's behind Shohei Ohtani's 50th home run ball and Mark McGwire's 70th home run from the 1998 season, which was buck wild. The Ruderman family, who caught the mega ball, talk about having a good Christmas.
Mm-hmm. They get double the presents. Triple, maybe.
Dude, that little kid's got to be the happiest little kid in the world. By the way, I wouldn't have trusted the little kid to hold that ball after y'all caught it because, I mean, what if somebody grabbed it and took off running?
Exactly.
$1.5 million.
Yeah, somebody's getting a new house for Christmas. How about that?
And then Juan Soto, this is crazy, man. I can't believe Steinbrenner's gotten so cheap. And I get it. Trust me, I do understand this. Do you know why he signed with New York over the Yankees?
Because of the suite. Stupid.
I do understand one thing. So Soto, I mean, he got a 15-year, $760 million deal. Okay, that's a lot of money.
Sure is.
Do you know what Hal Steinbrenner said to him that basically had him go to the Mets?
We're not going to give your family a suite.
He said, when we're paying you $760 million, you can afford to pay for your own suite.
Buy your own suite.
Give those suites away. He goes, those suites sell for $600,000 to over $1 million every single year at Yankee Stadium. I just can't be giving suites. He goes, I never gave a suite to Aaron Judge. I never gave a suite to Derek Jeter. Hell, I never even gave a suite to CC Sabathia. So pay for your suite. And he said, okay. And then went and signed with the Mets the next day. I mean, if you're giving him $760 million and a $60 million upfront signing bonus, I mean, he really could have paid for it. But I kind of get it. But don't you think that's kind of a bad precedent to set actually for the Steinbrenners? Again, Aaron Judge, he's now going to come to you and say, I want my suite. Does Garrett Cole come up to you and say, I want my suite? All of a sudden, all the suites are owned by the family of the players.
That's a good point.
And you ain't making no bank.
Yeah.
I do have to say, that's a crazy damn number.
I was listening, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but David Sampson, who used to run the Marlins, they asked him on the Dan Le Batard show about this, like right after Juan Soto signed, and this became a story, and they were like, how in the world does this become the deciding factor into, going and playing for a team? David Sampson was like, I don't think that was the deciding factor. They can say it was the deciding factor, but I don't think that was the deciding factor. But he said that there are easy ways, that you can structure a contract in which he's basically paying for the suite, whether he knows it or acknowledges it or whatever. But whatever his contract is, there's a way to either take away money and add a year or something like that. I forget. He laid it out very well in this podcast I was listening to. But basically, he was like, it would have been very easy for the Yankees to work around this and have him basically buy a suite for the season or for his entire contract for his family if he had wanted to.
Seems like the Yankees have lost a step, man.
Yeah, maybe.
Man, by the way, you won't believe this, dude. You know last week we talked about raccoon, right? Xavier Legette.
Yeah, he said he has raccoon for Thanksgiving or whatever.
Loves raccoon, eats it for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
That's right.
And we were talking, and we were like, man, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, no thank you.
Do you know who Andrew Zimmerman is?
Why does that name sound familiar to me?
Bizarre Foods on like
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's kind of a guy who would probably be a pretty good expert to ask this. He says that raccoon meat is absolutely delightful, delicious, moist and juicy. He says it tastes a lot like chicken, but has a very distinctive flavor with a nice, I'm sitting here going, damn, bro.
You mouth start watering a little bit, John? You're like,
no,
ooh.
man, no. Like, I'm still like, I don't know. And then he came out and said basically he would rather have raccoon over chicken, pork, beef, or lamb.
Yeah.
He says that there's some dishes out there that are just absolutely fabulous. Do you think raccoon is now going to be like something people start eating?
No, man, they could have it. I will not be partaking in any of the raccoon eating.
I mean, isn't it duck season?
I don't know. I don't hunt.
Duck or raccoon?
I'll take duck. I've never had duck before. Have you ever had duck, John?
Yeah, I've had duck before.
Never had. What's it taste like?
Like duck.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of greasy. Like, I'm not a big duck fan. If you make it like really good, like you got to be like super pimp to make it.
I see.
But I'm not that big of a big of a fan. One other note, Ashton Genty, of course, runner-up in the Heisman. Would like to just remind you, he had 2,497 yards rushing. Derrick Henry had 2,219 yards, Heisman. Ricky Williams, 2,100 yards, Heisman. Ron Dane, 1,800 yards, Heisman. Reggie Bush, 1,700 yards, Heisman. Mark Ingram, 1,658, Heisman. Do you think Genty was robbed?
A little bit.
I kind of do, too. I think Travis Hunter is a fabulous football player.
And that's the thing. It's,
It's
any other year, Ashton Genty
Genty,
wins it.
Boise State is in the playoff. Is kind of, I guess, what. Also, like, he literally carried his team to a bye in the first round of the playoffs. And when you have over 1,500 yards after contact, that's just redonkulous. But we do have the college football playoff. We're going to be talking about the bets all week long. We'll be breaking down all the games. But on the other side, we got to break down these Monday night football games. We got Bears and the Vikings, Falcons and the Raiders. Who's going to win? I'll tell you on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's the Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event, and that means get ready to save big at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Save big on 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid. We Gossett, $35,470 or $299 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, $27,870 or $399 a month. And 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $31,550 or just $499 a month. Plus, get peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get to Gossett Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event today for huge savings at 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Military rebate, loyalty rebate, trade assistance, PHEV, RZO 35,297, MSRP 47,470, both 72 months at 2.9%. Cross RZO 64,906, MSRP 31,370. Outlander RZO 71,112, MSRP 36,050. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos. Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner, so he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto. Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
It's better over here.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. We got Vikings Bears 7 o'clock, 7:30. You got a little Raider action. They're going to try to take care of the business. And man, I just had a brain fart completely. Obviously, you know which game I'm not betting on. Falcons and the Raiders. I was like, who is it? Man, but I kind of like this Vikings game, and it's just simple. We saw the Bears get 4 yards last week in the first half. You got a rookie quarterback, Monday Night Football. They fired Matt Eberflus. My man who's replaced him ain't been doing much. There's just not a lot of hope with this Bears team. On the other side, you got the Vikings. Kevin O'Connell's doing a hell of a job. Sam Darnold. You got receivers all over the place. They're playing good defense. Vikings have won 6 straight. How do you not take the Vikings and lay the 7? It just feels like it's impossible if you're going to play this game to jump on the Bears.
Right.
I've seen crazier things, but Vikings at home, man, I think they roll. Justin Jefferson does his dance. Aaron Jones be running that giant. Sam Darnold rolls. Now the Falcons and the Raiders are terrible, but are you all that sold on Kirk Cousins and them boys? They've lost 4 straight games. If you play that one, play it in line. For all y'all, get some Tito's. Also, get out there, make the world a better place. See you on the flip side. Peace.
Hungry for that delicious smash burger flavor? Dyer's Cafe is the original smash burger since 1912 and still smashing burgers in Collier, historic Town Square. Come out to the lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 to 2. Ask about the world famous split dog and authentic Chicago or New York dog. Try the leaner side of Dyer's with a grilled chicken sandwich or freshly made salad. Also serving lakes, Delta-raised catfish, Pasquale's tamales, and a customer favorite hand-breaded onion rings. Dyer's, serving world-famous burgers, balls, and shakes in Collier's historic Town Square.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos. Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner, so he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto. Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
It's the most wonderful time of the year for getting in on all the hoops,